Hello. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm offline just now. Sorry. Okay, let's continue. Authors of the largest of those banks have been appointed to Penn Central's Board of Directors, 董事会, as a condition for obtaining funds, and they gradually had acquired control over the railroad's management. The bank also had held large blocks of Penn Central stock in their trust department. The arrangement was convenient in many ways, not the least of which was the bankers sitting on the board of directors were privy to information. Private. Long before the public received it, which would affect the market price of Penn Central stock. Describes what happened, okay? On May the 20th, on May the 21, a month before the railroad went under, David Bevan, Penn Central's chief financial officer, privately informed representatives of the company's banking creditors that its financial condition was so weak it would have to postpone an attempt to raise $100 million in desperately needed operating funds through a bond issue. Instead, said Bevan, the railroad would seek some kind of government loan guarantee. In other words, unless the railroad could manage a federal bailout, it would have to close down. Wow. The following day, Chase Manhattan's trust department sold shares of its 134,300 shares of its Penn Central holdings. Before May 28, when the public was informed of the postponement of the bond issue, Chase sold another 128 shares. David Rockefeller, the bank's chairman, vigorously denied Chase had acted on the basis of the inside information. 强烈的，是吗？ vigorously. Vigorous. Vigorous. 天哪，积极。Vigorous. Vigorous. What does it mean? Powerful, positive, energetic. 强烈的，反正就是 vigorous. More to the point of this study is the fact that virtually all of the major management decisions which led to Penn Central's demise were made by or with the concurrence of its board of directors. Demise.
Demise.
Demise. The concurrence of its board of directors. Concurrency. Which is to say, by the banks that provided the loans. In other words, the bankers were not in trouble because of Penn Central's poor management. They were Central's poor management. An investigation conducted in 1972 by Congressman Wright Patman, chairman of the House Banking and Currency Committee, revealed the following. The banks provided large loans for disastrous expansion, disaster expansion, and diversification project. 多样化
Diversification.
diversity. Diversify. Okay, diversify. Diverse. Diversion. Diversion. 导流消遣 pastime. Divide. Diversion. Diverse. Diverse. 果然有
Diverse. Diverse.
天哪，这明显读的跟不一样。Diverse. 这样 diverse 多样的 diversification projects expansion and expansion 延期是吗？扩张啊 expansion
Expansion.
expansion okay expansion and diversification 扩张和 projects they loaded additional millions to the railroad so it could pay dividend to its stockholders.
Dividends. Dividends. Dividend.
啊，这就是股息啊，红利 dividend bonus。这个居然不知道。dividend no dividend dividend 啊 no dividend 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 dividend. It could pay dividends to its stockholders. This created the false appearance of prosperity and artificially inflated the market price of its stock long enough to damage on the unsuspecting public. Thus, the banker managers were able to engineer a three-way bonanza for themselves. Three-way bonanza. Bonanza.
Bonanza.
Bonanza for themselves. They first received dividends on essentially worthless stock. Two, earned interest on the loans which provided the money to pay those dividends. Three, and were able to unload 1.8 million shares of stock after the dividend.
Dividend.
Dividend occurs at unrealistically high price. Report from the Securities and Exchange Commission showed that the company's top executive had disposed of their stock in this fashion at a personal savings of more than 1 million. The company's top executives, 公司高管 executives are disposed 抛售 disposed of in this fashion at a personal savings of 个人节省了超过个人节省了指的是他们通过这种行为为自己节省了资金什么意思 personal saving had the railroad been allowed to go into bankruptcy
Bankruptcy.
At that point and being forced to sell off its assets, the bankers still would have been protected. In any liquidation, debtors are paid off first. 在各种流动性资产中，或贷款、债务都是第一优先偿还。Stockholders last. 股票持有人是最后的。So, the manipulators. So the manipulators 这些人 had dumped most of their stock while prices were relatively high. That is a common practice among corporate readers who use borrowed funds to seize control of a company, bleed off assets to other enterprises, which they afford control, and then toss the debt-ridden, dying case upon the remaining stockholders or, in other case, the taxpayers. 这是转移资产，这是转移资产，是不是？在任何流动性的资产中，债务是优先被偿还的，股市是最后被偿还的。So the这些执行者 manipulators， 任何清算中 liquidation debtors 债务人总是优先，股东排在最後。这些操纵者 manipulators dumped抛售了 most of their stock while processing were relatively high. This is a common practice among corporate readers. Corporate readers 其掠夺者 readers corporate readers reader 袭击 reader liquidation. In any liquidation, debts are paid off first, stockholders last. So the manipulators had dumped most of their stock while the prices were relatively high. This is a common practice among corporate readers. Reader 掠夺者 who used borrow fund to seize control. Who used borrowed funds to seize control of a company. 他们利用借来的资金夺取公司控制权 borrowed funds to seize control of company, bleed off its assets to other employees which they also control. Bleed off, bully. Those then toss the debt-ridden, dying carcass upon the remaining stockholders, or in this case, the taxpayers. Debt-ridden, 负债累累 debt-ridden, dying carcass, then toss upon the remaining stockholders. Toss upon toss up on随意的抛给，天呐 OK toss upon 甩锅地包 toss the diamonds to stakeholders。天呐 ，toss up 啊。
Dying carcass. Carcass.
Carcass call A 上面两个 R 发 car 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 R father arm car carcass
Carcass.
carcass 有个儿化音在里 carcass dying carcass death ridden toss upon the remaining stockholders or in the case taxpayers. Okay. The public being the damned. Public being damned. Penn Central 讲了这个案例。Public being damned. 可以诅咒。OK， 继续。In his letter of transmittal, accompanying the staff report, Congress provided this summary. In his letter of the staff report. 是指随文件报告一同出现的信件。Transmittal transmit
Transmit.
send in his letter of transmittal accompanying the staff report, Congressman provided this summary. It was as though everyone was a part of a close-knit club in which Penn Central and its officers could obtain, with very few questions asked, loans for almost everything they desire, both for the company and for their own personal interests. Where the bankers sitting on the board asked practically no questions as to what was going on, simply allowing management to destroy the company, to invest in questionable activities, and to engage, in some cases, in illegal activities. These banks, in return, obtain most of the company's lucrative banking business. The attitude of everyone seemed to be, while the game was going on, that all these dealings were benefit to every member of the club, and the railroad and the public being damned. as though everyone was a party of the close knit club. Knit club. It was as though everyone was a part of a close-knit club. 关系密切的 close-knit club. 小圈子 close-knit. Knit. 啊 close-knit. 天哪，这个意思。Close knit, knit, close knit club. It was as though everyone was a part of a close knit club in which Penn Central and its officers could obtain with very few questions asked, obtain loans for almost everything they desire, both for the companies and for their own personal interests. We are the bankers sitting on the board asked practically no questions as to what was going on, simply allowing management to destroy the company, to invest in questionable activities, and to engage in some cases in illegal activities. These banks in return obtain most of the company's lucrative banking business.
lucrative,
Lucrative, lucrative banking business. The attitude of everyone seemed to be, while the game was going on, that all these dealings were of benefit to every member of the club, and the rural and the public being damned. Okay, the banking cartel, commonly called the Federal Reserve System, was created for exactly this kind of bailout. Was created this kind of bailout. Arthur Burns, who was the Fed's chairman, would have preferred to provide a direct infusion of newly created money. Direct infusion of newly created money, but that was contrary to the rules at that time. In his own words, everything fell through. We couldn't lend it to them ourselves under the law. I worked on these things in other ways. The company's cash crisis came to had over a weekend, and in order to avoid having the corporation forced to file for bankrupt on Monday morning, Burns called the homes of the heads of Federal Reserve banks around the country and told them to get the word out immediately that the system was anxious to help, 急需帮助. On Sunday, William Trevor, who was the first vice president of the New York branch of the Fed, contacted the chief executive of the 10 largest banks in New York and told them that the Fed's discount window would be wide open the next morning. Translated, that means the Federal Reserve System was prepared to create money out of nothing and then immediately loan it to the commercial banks so they, in turn, could multiply and relend it to Penn Central and other corporations such as Chrysler, which were in similar streets. 同样的 similar streets 对待是吗？困难
Straits.
were in similar streets. Furthermore, the rates at which the Fed would make these funds available would be low enough to compensate for the risk. Picking of what transpired on the following Monday, Burns boasted, I kept the board in session practically all day to change regulation Q, and so that money could flow into CDs and at the banks. Looking back at the event, Chris Williams approvingly describes it as what is by common consent. What is by common consent the Fed's finest hour? What is by common consent? By common consent, Fed's finest hour.
Consent.
Consent 一致同意，公众认知，普遍公认。Common consent consent I kept the board in session practically all day to so that the cities of the facts. 是啥意思呀？定期存款 certified of deposits certificates of deposits deposits, 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 deposits,
deposit,
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 deposit, deposit, deposit, deposit. Finest hour or not, the banks were not that interested in the proposition. Unless they could be assured that taxpayers would co-sign the loans and guarantee payment. 是不是欢乐时光？银行家们并不在乎。is proposition. Proposition. 除非公众买单。So, the action inevitably shifted back to Congress. Penn Central's executives, bankers, and union representatives 联合代表 Kevin Jones to explain how the railroads continued its existence was in the best interest of the public, of the working man, of the economic system itself. Existence, privacy. How the railroads continued existence. In the best interest. How the railroads continued existence. 存在的必要性 was in the best interest. In the best interest. 收益最大 of the public, of the working man, of the economic system itself. The Navy Department spoke of protecting the nation's defense resources. Congress, of course, not carelessly ignore these pressing needs of the nation. It responded by ordering a retroactive a person 13 a percent pay raise for all union employees. 追溯
retroactive,
retroactive. Archer have added that burden to the railway's cash drain 短缺 and 枯竭 and putting it even deeper into the hole. It then passed the Emergency Rail Service Act of 1970. 1970, authorizing 125 million in federal loans guarantees. 天哪，就这么就这不是抢，这不是赤裸裸的抢劫吗？这不是赤裸裸的抢劫吗？ And responded, 工会雇员什么意思？这是啥意思嘞？晚上帅。铁路就没法。None of this, of course, solved the basic problem, nor was it really intended to. Almost everyone knew that eventually the railroad would be nationalized, which is a euphemism for becoming a black hole into which tax dollars disappear.
Euphemism.
Euphemism. This came to pass with the creation of AMTRAK and JEKYLL in 1973 took over the passenger service of Penn Central and JEKYLL assumed operation of its freight service, along with 5 other eastern railroads. JEKYLL technically is a private corporation. When it was created, however, 85% of its stock was held by the government. The remainder was held by employees. Fortunately, the government stock was sold in a public offering in 1987. Continues under political control and operates at a loss. It is subsidized by government subsidies, which is to say by taxers. Subsidized. It is subsidized by government subsidies. Congress dutifully gave it another 5.7 billion, and by 1998, liabilities exceed assets by an estimate 14 billion. JEKYLL, on the other hand, since it was returned to the private sector, has experienced an impressive turnaround and has been running at a profit paying taxes instead of consuming them. 天哪，这个是什么呀？这个是什么 ？Lockheed 诺克希德，美国国家铁路公司在政府控制下亏损 and operates at a loss. Substance 维持 by government sectors 运行 sustained by government subsides. In 1987, Congress 负责任的 gave it another 5.7 billion, and by 1998, liabilities 负债 exceeded assets 超过资产 by an estimate 14 billion. 我的天，1998年又给了14个 billion. JEKYLL on the other hand, since it was returned to the private sector, as expensive, experienced, and impressed, turned around. 漂亮的转身 has been running at a profit, paying tax instead of consuming. Return to the private 指的是这家公司 return to the private sector. 其他内容是规划一个市场上显著的转机，并且盈利 paying tax instead of 总而言之，这段话是说，铁路公司它在政府控制下，自从私有化之后，盈利就对它做贡献。OK， 读一下这个啊。然后把这两家公司不是把这个 plan 给拆分成两家公司了，一个是美国国家铁路和一个 JEKYLL, and it continues under the political control and operates at a loss in substance by government subsidies. Government subsidy 补贴是吧 ？Subsidies.
Government subsidies.
Subsidies 对 subsidies 啊 which to say better United States 给 United Library States by answers. 可是 on the other hand, 它呢 since it was returned to the private sector, has had experienced an impressive turnaround and has been running at a profit. 这跟中国的国有银行似的啊。政府运营和私营运营的效率差异。Okay, that's all for today. Let's wrap it up. 咱们 review 一下。frivolous 记不住。frivolous 记不住。hypothetically hypothesis 记住 trivial matter trivial matter 记住 consort 这个记住了 consort 是吧 consort vigorous 记住 expansion and diversification 扩张和多样化多种经营 diversification dividend 股息 dividend reader 抢夺掠食者 transmit send OK 这个是转移 close knit 这个能记住菱形秘密缝是吧 common consent 公众认知普遍公认 consent 认知认为是吧 consent 同意 consent 承诺 pledge 向你保证我向你承诺我向你发誓 pledge common consent 这个真的记不出来 frivolous 轻浮啊 frivolous hypothetical假设记不住这个真记不住 trivial matters 琐事啊 trivial matters OK 还是记不住 trivial matters 琐事 trivial matters 真的是他们真正的是 Chapter 2学的这些招在 Chapter 3就真正的实现了。这个事件是说给一个大而不能倒的一个机构就各种贷款然后呢作为贷款的这个 condition 条件是什么这些银行高管进入这家公司之后逐渐的控制完管理层之后呢然后就是 expansion and diversification然后都是咱们可以三种吃法是吧吃完之后这些 reader 干嘛了呢toss the debt-ridden dying carcass upon the remaining stockholders 吃干抹净把骨头渣扔给 taxpayers OK 所以公众就是被诅咒了公众为什么被诅咒了呢那么吃干抹净之后股票大跌然后开始游说国会说这个不能倒它也很有存在的必要那国会出手把这个公司国会出手 Federal Reserve Banks 然后开始印钱之后然后让它活着之后提出的解决方案是什么呢解决方案就是把这家公司一分为二 This came to pass with creation of JEKYLL and JEKYLL 旗下的两家公司集体生产 take over the passenger services of Penn Central and assume the operation of its freight service along 5 other east coasts OK 但是作为对比公有 公管的这家公司5.7又给了14个 billion，而这个私营公司却 impressive turnaround， 华丽转身 running at a profit， running at loss， running at profit， 这就是很明显的对比。好了，这就是 Okay, that's all for today. Let's wrap it up today. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.